anyways, The Boys. Getting right into it. Season 3, episodes 3 and 4. We covered 1 and 2 a couple weeks ago, so go ahead and catch up on
Yes.
those if you're interested. Otherwise, we will get full of spoilers now and pick up on episode 3, which has a very disturbing opening. Like I
90s
just
opening.
ah, I ha-
Yeah.
I hate the pageantry stuff for little children. It's uncomfortable to watch, and the
Oh my
parents who put their
god.
kids through that.
Yes. Starlight's mom is a show mom to, like, the uncomfortable nth degree. Like, she was
Mhm.
just so cringe. Although she did make me feel good as a mom that I will never be that.
Yeah, right.
It's just, like,
Yeah.
watching that was enough to, like, stick with me being like, "Don't ever do that."
Mhm.
Not that I
And how
would,
many
but oof.
no little I won't say no, but almost no little girls probably get into this of their own accord. They're so
Yeah.
young. They're not like, they're pushed into it,
Yeah.
that the parents want them to do it. So,
Well, and it's sad because there's probably, there's like you said, there's probably like one or two little girls, a small handful that do get into it because they just think like, "Ooh, this is cool," or like moms start out with good intentions, like, "Oh, my
right.
daughter's so into dress up and she loves to sing. Like, why don't I, take her to do something fun?" And then it just like morphs into this like all-consuming, hideous, like
Right.
push your pain aside and bring it on the stage, make mommy proud
Mhm.
nonsense. Oof. Yeah, that was bad.
Mhm. So we hadn't seen anything from Starlight's mother in a while. So we get a little bit of that.
Yeah, she can
Um,
she can crawl back now. That's I've had my fill.
yeah. So we open seeing kind of the adversity that she's had to deal with for a
Her
while,
coping
and
mechanisms.
yeah, and gets to later see how that's going to come in handy, I guess.
Mm.
Um, yeah, and then we also get the we episode 2 ended with Homelander kind of giving his speech, sort of is trying to break free from the structure of the control of Vought.
Right.
And people are flying into panic mode, but turns out their audience for Homelander, the target audience, is digging it. So Homelander is very excited about this, despite not
Too
caring what the people
excited.
think. Right?
Too
Yeah,
excited,
too
Homelander.
excited. Yep, definitely too excited. Um,
And
yeah,
then we get this like weird like wordplay sexual encounter between Homelander and Ashley. It's just the worst. Not
yeah,
because of her name. I love you, Ashley. But she is just like, ugh, trash human.
yeah, yeah. Well, and
Which
she's
I suppose it could affect you. Like her entire job is to just like look at social media all day, all the time, think about like
right.
what hits on social media. And I feel like that would just kind of turn you into a trash person.
Yeah, yeah, and it's like we see the promotions being said and all that stuff, and like it to me, it is emblematic of how stuff probably gets done a lot, where it's people are too involved in like trying to cater everywhere all the time, and there's no sense of being genuine. There's no
Yeah.
sense of like what we actually think, we actually care about, what we actually want to talk about or be or whatever, and
Right.
people can see that. I think more and more that we become aware of, yeah, the influence of social media or whatever. And so this to me is a thing from the show that rings pretty true in the way that these campaigns and ads and like team selection and all this is just a manufactured yuck kind of thing.
Yeah.
Um, and so we see a number of these scenarios playing out in these episodes, including one with an A Train, which was a hilarious ad. That was hilarious.
So you know what it's from, right?
I
It's
maybe
the
there's a reference
Kendall
that I'm not getting.
Jenner it's the Kendall Jenner Pepsi ad. Have you not
I
seen that?
I don't think so.
It's literally a shot for shot remake, except I mean, almost to a T,
She doesn't put her
almost.
hands between, like, protesters
She
and police, does she?
she does, she, like, walks up and, like, gets in between them and, like, does I mean, she doesn't speed in there because she's not A trained, so, that part
Right.
doesn't make sense. But, like, yeah,
Oh,
she, like, literally, like, gives the police officer a Pepsi and he drinks it and, like, everybody's friends. It's literally the same thing.
huh. Okay,
Yeah,
yeah.
go
Um,
watch it when you have time. It's just as cringe in real life with a Pepsi and Kendall Jenner as it is with A Train and his weirdo energy drink.
I'll have to, try to put this in the chat, or not in the chat, sorry, in the video description we posted on YouTube, because I'm watching it now. If I'm wondering if I've ever seen this. I don't know when this was.
Yeah,
Okay, this was 2017,
yeah.
so quite a
She
while
got
ago
she got
already.
some serious clapback for this commercial. She took a very big negative hit
Okay,
because
so
people were
even
like, "This is fake. This is stupid. Like, you can't you're just, like, jumping on a bandwagon trying to use, like, social justice movements and, like, protests to, like, sell some Pepsi. Pepsi doesn't just, like, magically solve these very real problems that people have."
it doesn't. What, I thought everybody
What?
could just drink
What?
a
Just share a
Pepsi.
Pepsi and just be like,
Uh-huh.
"Cool." If that's true, then, on the screen, if you're watching video, Homelander and Butcher would just be cracking open a can of Pepsi and
Yeah, yeah,
"Cheers."
yeah. Mhm.
We'd have no
Yeah,
show.
this ad is definitely too long.
It is.
Um, but it's funny because, yeah, she's even, like, in a photo shoot
Yep.
and then has to stop
Yep.
to ch
Yep.
Oh, okay, so she's walking out with a Pepsi. Um, eh,
He's doing the slow crack.
mhm, yep,
Mhm.
goes over to the officer, hands the Pepsi.
Mhm.
Alright, okay.
Yeah.
I'm glad
I
you brought this up because I did not know that.
I'm glad
That's
this
funny.
show brought it back just to, like, troll that one more time. It was well timed. I completely had forgotten about that until Chris was like, "Oh, so A Train is Kendall Jenner," and I was like, "Oh, mind blown, it is."
That's funny. So yeah, we're getting a bunch of that, and Homelander is making it, you know, he's making it clear. We kind of get in this episode. He's trying to go around and
Mhm.
really put the boot down on a lot of people. Hey, I'm back in charge here. You want to think you are co-captain Starlight? It's not going to work. And that's a pretty powerful, scary scene with
Mhm.
her where she threatens to share the video of him on the plane. And he's like,
Mhm.
just do it then. You know, I would rather be loved, but being feared is fine too. You
Right.
know, and he kind of lays out, yeah, I'll go and like take down the capital, some strategic defense areas, you know. And
Mhm.
as he kind of plays it out, you know, and like take down cellular service, it's just like, yeah, he could just do all that.
Right.
Could just do all that. So um, spends time humiliating a number of people and really, you know, getting people in line here. Um,
Yeah. Yeah. There were moments that I, enjoyed in terms of, like, Homelander is a great villain,
mhm,
I mean, and it's clear he's spiraling further and further into crazy as Starlight tries to warn Supersonic about. Like, you can't join the team. There's something wrong with Homelander. Um, but there are occasional moments where, like, he is very enjoyable in that role. There's a lot of times when I find him, like, disgusting and sick and just, like, off his rocker. And then there are times when he makes a good point, like when he threatens Starlight. He's like, if you have the leverage, I mean, you have to use it. Like, you can't just empty threat it.
right.
Like, you're gonna have to do something, put up or shut up.
Yep. That is the key. That is why I like Homelander yet, because it is that balance of okay, this is not good, it's disgusting, or a disgusting funny moment, or something you enjoy because there's
Mhm.
a grain of truth to it or something, and then just the performance. So it's a
Yeah,
complex character that I continue to enjoy watching. Unlike some other characters uh in the show,
for
that I'm kind of
sure.
getting tired of at this point. But
I know you're talking about other people, but I'm gonna put in a plug for who I'm tired of. The Deep. I did
okay.
not enjoy the whole "let's bring the Deep back" storyline. I really like his weird cameos, his just
Yep.
random pop-ups to, like, promote his book or, like, do a thing, and, like, his faux Lifetime movie of the week thing was excellent.
Yes,
I don't love that he's coming back on the 7. That
I
storyline is
agree.
like that is played out. I do not care. Bye, Deep.
Yep. I agree. Like you say, the doses of just getting his little like what he's up to yet, that
Mhm.
just like silly or ridiculous, his kind of rebrand is great, and keeping him outside of the 7, it was
Worked
fun
for me.
comic relief. He doesn't need to be
Yep.
more serious than that anymore.
Yep, it
Um,
worked for me. Or if you wanna bring him back, I need something to be immediately happening with the Church of the Collective.
yes,
That is the
I agree.
only interesting
Something
thing that I care about.
deeper, something in more more
Nah,
involved.
deeper.
Some I know some other sort of conspiracy that's going or something
Yes.
to
Yes.
that adds an intrigue other than just like, oh, he's just a jerk that's back now.
Yeah.
That
Played
he's,
out. I do not
mhm.
care.
And I don't know why his wife is just in the
Crazy.
meetings.
Just cray cray.
She's just always there too.
Yeah,
Like, are
and,
you
like,
part of
home
the
like
7 as well?
right, like, Homelander doesn't care. Like, I feel like he
Yeah.
normally would care about something like that, but he just doesn't.
Yeah.
So if there's a thing there, I also want that to be, like, more apparent right away
Right.
because
Like if
I
it's
don't care about the deep.
mhm. Right. That was making me wonder, maybe there is some like conspiracy between Vought and the church. Maybe there is something
Sure,
else there, but we don't
but
really have anything other than his wife is
right,
for some reason just there and kind of telling
right.
him what to do. That's
Yeah,
weird.
this is the kind of thing where I don't want it to be a slow burn. Like, I don't need
Mhm.
the slow mystery reveal. I would like this to just, like, be front and center if it is a thing.
Mhm. Yep.
So,
And I'll take this opportunity as well to tell everybody, do you know how to tell if someone is a vegan?
how is that?
You don't have to worry about it. They'll let you know. Um,
I
it, and
should have
and
guessed it was something like that.
and I am an octopus vegan. Okay, so if I have not let this audience know yet, I am an octopus vegan, and so I did not just besides the disturbing imagery of it, I was not a fan of
Mm-mm.
poor. I don't
Timothy.
remember Timothy
Nope. I wrote
being
in the
roasted.
notes 3 seasons of gore, of nastiness, of giant penises and
Hmm.
whales being, beached and bloody and guts everywhere and people
Hmm.
being blown up through their butts.
Hmm.
And this is the first time in all of these seasons that I literally gagged and could not look at the screen as this was happening. I have watched everything else, but I could not. I could not watch the deep try to eat a live octopus. I could not
Well,
do it.
I know you know that in real life, people do eat at least a live squid, I think.
Nope, 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 nope.
Um, I don't know about octopi, but,
Oh my goodness. It was so uncomfortable from like the practical how is this going to fit in his mouth, which, yes, that's what she said or he said or whatever. But seriously, how is it going to fit in his mouth to the like human emotion of like, oh God, he's begging for his life. He says he has children.
mhm,
Like everything about this was just like too sad for me to even
mhm.
look.
Well, Alan says octopuses. I believe it is either or, octopuses or octopi. I could be mistaken, but I'm pretty sure it's either. Could be
I
correct,
thought I
Nala.
thought it was Octopussy.
Oh, but of course. I mean, the best James Bond movie. Yes, of course. Mhm. I
Just
mean,
settle that debate right now.
if the scene in the show would have been
Was
labeled a
it?
scene
Yeah.
as probably labeled octopussy, yeah,
Probably,
because that was
probably.
disturbing as well.
Yes.
Um, a lot to just like I I didn't need it. I didn't need it. And and
And it's a
again, I
consequence of the deep being back.
yes, yes,
You didn't
exactly.
need it.
hmm And I think that to me, it's a whole nother issue we're not addressing in this show. If every life creature, that's a weird way to say it, every creature,
Yeah.
it can like talk, can form thoughts and sentences and
Okay.
communicate with the deep. That's in this world implying
Wait,
animals have quite an intelligence.
only sea creatures though, right?
Well,
Because
he
he's
can
the
talk to
deep.
sea creatures, right?
I mean, he's
But
like a parody of Aquaman, right?
right. But he can
Okay.
talk to all these sea creatures. So that
Right.
means they're all very smart.
They're all
See,
sentient.
I don't
Yeah.
eat octopus anymore because they're too smart. Any
Mhm.
creature that is too intelligent, I just don't need to eat them. That's
Sure.
my that's my bleeding heart, whatever, But it's but in this show, he's talked to all kinds of sea creatures, little fish and whatever, all this
Dolphins,
stuff.
yeah,
Yeah.
oh, the dolphin that went skidding across the highway. Oh, god.
Yeah, and they were gonna
The
get
deep is just
married. Oh.
yes, he's just like such a sad parody. Every time he tries to help a sea creature, he just, like, F's it up. Like the
Mhm.
dolphin, the whale, now poor Timothy.
Yeah.
Just ugh, yeah. Yeah, that's why I felt like his cameos were just the right doses of him,
Yeah.
and
Yep.
now I'm sad he's back.
Because I never liked him other than the butt of the joke,
Right.
because he's a trash person, so I just didn't wanna.
Right. And I mean, I was really, to keep it in the context of the show, I was really excited for some new blood, a new character, and I was excited to see what this, American
Mm,
hero show was going to bring about and who we were going to get into the 7. And now I just feel like
deflated with
the
that. Yeah.
yeah, I feel cheated,
Mhm.
both as like an audience member and as I imagine imaginary American hero audience would feel
Absolutely.
if you were watching this like
Outrage.
yeah, it would
Mhm.
just be a bunch of BS that they just like bring back some rando instead of choosing the people that are there that
Yeah.
potentially care about.
You supported, you did a social media
Right.
campaign, hashtag this
Right.
person, audience feedback, all this
And
stuff,
then you
and then
find out it's
just
like a big joke or a lie.
yeah. No, not
Yeah.
cool. Not
Yeah.
cool. Um, so yeah, we're in agreement with that. So, but it's not only the deep, it's also, I'm I'm still I am having trouble finding characters near more consistently now that I like. And so
Mm.
Butcher for me even is I'm tired of I think he would
Mhm.
grow, like he'd go through some tragedy and grow, he'd grow up, he'd mature, he would like balance himself a little bit more or
Yeah.
something. But he's still a complete jerk and
Yeah.
terrible to his
His
wife's
team,
kid.
his wife's
Terrible
kid,
to his
yeah.
team, yeah. It's just,
Yeah.
like, kind of inexcusable at this point, and I'm really not digging it.
Yeah, this episode was a real setback for Butcher. Because I'd really liked where he was starting out this season. As tough as it was, he was kind of like playing by the rules.
Mhm.
He was making some effort to connect with Ryan. Um, and there you always see like there's potential for possibility for him to go off the rails, but he was like holding himself back. And I wanted him to be holding back until the right moment, and then it feels like they just unleashed him too soon, you
Mm.
know? Like, cause there are moments I think when Butcher being an asshole works. Um, but I just feel like I'm tired of him being an asshole to the people he cares about.
Sure.
It's
Yeah.
fun when he's an asshole to like
Yeah.
other
To
people.
Homelander, he talks down to him or something like that, that's
Right.
fun. But
Or like
absolutely,
the
his
the
team.
T-sip of the, doctor who was performing all the experiments who like basically raised Homelander into this like crazy psycho. And he's just like, I'm gonna get you. And then he takes a little sip of tea. Like, that's iconic assholery.
Yep.
Like, that's great moments that you just,
Mhm.
ooh, savor. And these moments of being a jerk to the people that he cares about, I'm over that. pushing
Yep.
people away because you care about them, because you don't want them to get hurt or whatever excuse that you have. Tired.
Yeah, I don't believe even the, "Oh, you're supposed to keep the team together because
Oh, yeah,
it's
I did not.
required of me to be the asshole." I
Nope.
don't buy that for a minute.
Nope.
So,
Nope. Mm-mm. I didn't. I mean, I like MM. I do, and I love that he is like that heart that, he's
yep.
guided Huey and he's, provided meaning for Butcher and like the rest of the team. But it felt contrived for Butcher to say, "You're the heart, so I can be the asshole."
Mhm.
It felt like he was giving something to MM only to like take it away and make it about himself
Mhm.
and give
And
himself permission to be a jerk.
and it's something that MM should have stepped up on more, put his
Mhm.
foot down on things like this just isn't cool, it's not right. Speak up, and he's not doing it, hasn't been.
Yeah.
And then the way he's walking all over Frenchie, the Frenchie's kind of story this season is, hey, you're the lapdog. Like you just kind of go
Yeah.
from person to person and do what they say. So I'm not really big into that either.
Yeah,
Um,
so now that you're bringing it up, I'm very back and forth on Frenchie's storyline because I like learning more about his past.
right.
You know, I
Yeah.
I like I liked learning about, his time apparently as a lapdog for this like, I don't know, Russian mob.
Russian fixer, something.
Yeah,
Yeah.
something. That was interesting to me and, getting tied back with Cherie and, um, getting them into this, like, shitty situation. It was all, like, very interesting to me to learn about his past, but then it sort of raised some questions for me about, like, how did he go over to Butcher and how did, like, Nina let him get away? Why is he, like, just going from person to person? Like, why are we characterizing him that way?
Hmm.
Yeah.
Yep. Speaking of pasts, we're also finding out
Mhm.
about Grace and the other superhero team and what they know
Payback.
about the um, what Soldier Boy going missing and stuff. So that was a fun scene. We also find out about like we see um, Black Noir wanting to
Yes!
like be I
Be
don't want
out
the
of the
mask
mask?
anymore. Yeah.
I wanna
And
talk?
then mhm. Mhm. And
Oh,
then within the course of the same episode, become horribly disfigured.
right, and I'm not
Yikes.
sure capable of speech.
Right? Yeah, I don't
That
know.
was a question mark I was left with.
Right? So,
Um, yeah, I really so I loved the flashback. I love the trip back into her past. I love learning more about, like, her experience with soups and, like, how wrong they are clearly for conscripted service and, like, being in any kind of, like, militarized force. Loved, the, like, nods to US history with governments, like, interfering, setting up
mhm.
dictators, getting their own citizens hooked on cocaine, like, oh my
Yep.
god, just, like, so much, like, oh, totally. Dark
Just like
chapters, but very
pull
real
in the CIA
chapters.
files. Yeah.
Yep. Um, but I do have to say, so I wanna address the content of the flashback in a minute, but I do wanna say I really didn't get the boys feeling, like, super betrayed by her not telling them this, because she doesn't
Sure.
really know anything. You know
Right.
what I mean? Like, in the sum total of it, she didn't see Soldier Boy get killed. She only has Crimson Countess's word that the Russians, like, killed him and took his body,
Right.
and she doesn't even know where his body is, what happened, like, she has nothing to offer the boys.
Yeah, just the knowledge that maybe there was a weapon that was powerful enough to kill
Oh,
someone like
like,
Soldier Boy, but it's all
but
hearsay.
maybe it is. It's total hearsay. And Crimson Countess, like, it felt so like, oh, they killed him. They had a special weapon and they took his body. Like, it sounded so fake.
Like set up, yeah. Mhm.
Yeah. Like, either she's super dumb and bought it, or it's a setup and she bought
Mhm.
it.
And it could have been a thing that he got knocked out and they
Right.
carried him away. Like, it doesn't mean he's dead, just but yeah,
Yeah.
kidnapped as far, but
Right. Yeah. So it just all felt like such a nothing thing for the team to be acting that betrayed by her. You know
mhm,
what I mean?
right. Yeah,
So
it's a lot of like what if, these are big jumps to then to throw it in her face. Oh, my wife might still be alive,
right.
all this sort of
Like,
thing.
how?
Well,
Was she
if they
supposed to,
had
like,
started
go to
looking
r
for this weapon
but she
way
did.
earlier, maybe they would have found it. Like
But
in
she
season
did.
1, it could have been like on the path.
But, like,
They weren't.
his wife was already dead by then.
No, not in
I mean,
season
well,
1.
I guess, yeah, she wasn't dead, but he thought she was dead.
Yes, yes, yes.
So, I don't know. I feel like it's a stretch that, like, Butcher is like, wants to believe that this information would have been so
He just
useful.
wants to be angry. That's what it
Yeah,
comes down to. He just
yeah.
wants to be angry. So,
But yeah, so I did enjoy the flashback itself. I enjoyed, like, learning about her past, her contacts, however brief, with, Soldier Boy, Crimson Countess, Gunpowder, Swatto, who's a moron, just flying around above the camp, like, "Oh, hey, here we are,
yeah.
everybody."
Yeah, I was like that was very weird to me. Uh I mean, I guess, it's
They were
kind of
such
the
morons.
yes.
They were
Um
very like, "We're like a USO show," rather than, "We're here to
mhm.
fight in the army."
But then they kept like shooting their own people.
My god.
I
So
don't know.
stupid.
It was maybe a little much,
Yeah.
but I guess it's to drive home how I don't know,
Inept.
sadistic they are and yeah, they
Inept, yeah.
just regard for human life, but
It
yeah.
was fun for me, I made a note of this, it was fun to see a young Stan Edgar. Like, they props to the actor who played young Giancarlo Esposito because he had, like, the same stillness and smooth tones
Hmm.
that I think he does as Stan. I mean, younger, less polished, but I think that's because
Yeah.
he's younger and less polished.
No, I agree. I was really more impressed with the
Young Grace.
yes.
Yes,
I
I
thought that
agree with you.
just
I just thought both actors did a really good
yeah.
job.
It was fun for sure to see that. Um Episode 3 ends with hashtag homelight.
Oh,
Uh so
speaking
we
of
have
gagging,
yeah.
that
Mm.
that kiss was just horrible.
And again, it's a thing that audiences are gonna see through. They're gonna see through that kind of that's I mean, some people won't, I guess, but
Oh,
it's pretty
they were both just terrible at faking
mhm.
it.
Mhm.
Oh,
So, and it's funny because she had just. I didn't really think I believed this any. I thought this conversation was weird. She's calling Huey
mm,
and kind of seems disappointed that he's not saying just get out and run.
yeah,
But was she going to? I mean, she's been through all this stuff. Did she think running was an option? So I don't think it's fair to like
right.
be disappointed exactly. Now, maybe you want your boyfriend to say that, and so then you can not, say like, "I appreciate that, but I can't do that." Um,
Yeah, I feel like there's maybe some parts there that were she was disappointed not only in his response but his like reasoning.
sure,
It just seems so shallow that he was like, "I need a win, so you have to stay where you could potentially die
sure,
because I'm
yeah,
frustrated at
Ugh,
losing." I
sure.
was like, "That's some weak sauce, Huey."
Hmm.
Like, she could literally die, and you're
Yep.
telling her to stay there because you're mad that
Hmm.
you're not as cool as and powerful as Homelander.
Yeah, it's got to
Ugh.
be. Well, did he say that to? I mean, I know he said that to Butcher. He
No,
said that to
he's
her too.
so yeah, so he I'm trying to remember my note. Oh, yeah, because he was frustrated that, they keep losing, doing it the right way, didn't get them anywhere, so we just have to be mean
Mm,
and nasty like they are.
mm,
Because I remember
okay.
he specifically said to her that he was tired of losing.
Hmm.
And I was like,
This episode had a lot of like themes of dildos. There's just a lot of dildos around.
You mean episode 4?"
Yes. Yes. Just a lot.
Yes.
I mean, I'm
Did
like,
you
why you're keeping that in your desk? Like
so,
that's
okay. So I don't know if you do this, but I've done it just because I get curious. So I sometimes will like flick ahead and read like the short description for the next episode. And
Mm.
for this episode, it was like Battle of the Dildos, like Black Noirs, blah 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 versus Starlight's thing, And I was
That's
like,
funny.
what the hell is this episode gonna be about? Like there's
Mhm,
like some sort of weird porn thing happening.
mhm,
And then we got to that scene and I was like, "Oh, it's like a literal battle." It's
mhm,
like they're
mhm,
used in but yeah, from the short description, I was like, "What is happening here?" And then the episode just made it
mhm,
all make horrible, horrible
mhm.
sense.
Ah, yeah, that's true. It was a fun scene. Um,
2 scenes, 1 scene,
well,
Kimiko
with
and the
Kimiko,
dildos, and then Ashley and
yeah,
the dildo.
not that so much. That was
That
like
was
I'm
not
like,
fun.
Really? Well, that's again, that's in your desk. That's just weird. Just
And it's
weird.
Homelanders, it's Homelanders. I did not need to know that.
Well, is
They're
it?
all superhero themed
Yeah.
in
Oh,
this one.
yes, yes. This is super. Yes, this is
Yeah, no,
themed
it's
after
not like
Home. Yes.
his personal
Okay.
one.
Okay.
It's
Yeah.
his theme one, I mean. I mean, I don't
Uh,
know.
yeah. Right. Who's to say? Mhm.
Who's to say?
Um. Yeah. It's very interesting. Um. I feel bad for Kimiko. She's like my favorite, basically.
Mhm.
Because she's actually the genuine hearted one. And Ashley and I were looking at each other like, okay, they're planning to leave her and Frenchie. This isn't gonna go well now.
Right,
So
anytime
I'm just
somebody's on the cusp of being happy, you're like, "Watch
hmm
out, you're not gonna be."
so I mean, where do you feel for them? Where like should they have just be getting out of there and living their life, or is it like
Um,
we need to be a part of dealing with this because
sure,
superheroes are a real big problem.
sure. I feel they're both at the place of, "We can't do this anymore." They've already done so much, like, I do feel they deserve a break, a trip, a permanent break, whatever they want, they've been through a lot. Um, so I didn't like fault them for being like, we need to get out of here. And I wasn't mad that they were like, we just need to finish this because I get that Frenchie at one point had real feelings for Cherie
Mhm.
and didn't want her to be killed by little Nina. So he was sort of like rocking a hard place, but he's like, hey, we're just gonna do this last thing. I truly believe he felt that and really wanted to go away with Kimiko. And of course, something happened.
Yeah. So we get all kinds of craziness. They're going on this mission. They're trying to, break into this facility here. Um,
Find a weapon to kill Homelander,
Huey
kill
had
like
his
a minor
arm broken.
Russian
Yeah.
mobster.
Yep. And Huey finds out that Butcher is taking temporary V.
And of
We get
course he's coveting it. Everybody else would be like, what the hell are you doing? Throw that in the trash. And of course Huey's the one who's like, so I said this before. I'm wearing black today because I'm mourning my love of Huey's character because this episode 4 really put the nail in the coffin for me. From
yeah.
episode 3 where I didn't like his whininess, his like, "Sorry, Starlight, you have to suck it up and be near crazy Homelander because
Mhm.
I'm sad I don't get to win things," to this episode where he's like, "Oh, like, you get to take temporary V? I wanna take temporary V," and the Homelight kiss that's playing on the Russian TVs and, like, making fun of him, and he's acting like it's a real thing.
Mhm.
Like, why does this bother you, dude? You know what's going down. So people made fun of you. So what? Like, Starlight has real problems. Butcher has real problems. Kimiko has real problems. Like,
Mhm.
you being made fun of for like a half second on TV is not a problem.
Yep.
And then
Yeah.
to the end where we have, I mean, I know I'm skipping, but like
No,
we
that's
have
fine.
Kimiko in real danger and
Yeah.
Huey's like taken temporary V and is like leaning his head out the window and he's like high on life because he thinks he got to win because he has
Yeah.
superpowers. I was like, I am done, 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 done.
It was so weird. I was wondering if there are like side effects to V, but it didn't seem to be the case for Butcher. Like he didn't get
Right.
high on it. He's not like now like maybe it's addictive, you
Right.
know,
So,
that
yeah,
he's
so we definitely still have questions about V, I think,
right.
because Huey manifested a power we haven't seen Butcher do.
Hmm.
He like half super sped, half teleported
Yeah, I think it was like a
to go
teleportation thing, yeah.
tackle that guard. Yeah. So unclear as to whether like V gives you different powers or like, you just have to like test out what your powers are. Might hit you differently. Might
Hmm.
24 hours might be truly 24 hours, or, for some people it might be less, might be more.
Right.
You know, for certain people it might just be like regular drugs. Some people have more addictive personalities and can get hooked faster.
Hmm.
Don't know.
Yep. And it could be just leading us, but I like it
Yeah.
felt to me like Butcher was maybe a little like, I need to covet this myself. That's gonna, I need to take this. It just sounds like, of course, like a drug addict kind of thing. But at the same time, you get it, going to someplace dangerous or whatever,
Mhm.
But how is it fair exactly that he's he's in possession of this and he's gonna like, I'm gonna take this risk on and none of the rest of you can. I'm not gonna tell any of you, which is also weird to not tell him because
Mhm.
it's a good chance they're gonna find out.
Which then he just like threw caution to the wind and like showed them all.
Yep. Yep. Well, we're out of ammo, so there we are. Bam.
Yep.
But yeah. I don't know. But we see that indeed they spend too long like thinking this one hamster is really cute. It's like, okay, it's just a weird looking hamster. I'll just
Okay,
leave it
so
alone.
this is actually the hamster, Jamie the hamster, is apparently in the comics. And that's
Oh,
definitely
nice.
one of the things that was like tipping me into like, I should really read these comics. Like, why the F is Jamie the super V'd up hamster in these?
I was joking. It's like maybe that's the weapon. You can just
I
burrow
mean,
in anything, and
he
yeah,
clearly is a weapon.
yeah,
He
right.
saves Frenchie
Hmm.
inadvertently or purposely.
Right.
I don't know. I don't know.
Yep.
I don't know about animal intelligence in this show. It could be anything.
Yep. And then we see that of course Soldier Boy is alive,
Mhm.
and he I don't know, like needs to expel some energy and busts up Kimiko in the process, collateral damage. And I guess it didn't seem like it was directed. It just seemed like it didn't matter. Like just
Yeah.
and then she's seemingly not able to heal now. So that's quite the added
Right.
power here now or something.
Right. So it's unclear if like his new energy expelling like whatever that is,
Hmm.
targeted or not, affect superheroes' powers, or if it's just so overwhelming that because one of Kimiko's powers besides super strength is like the Wolverine like ability to
Yeah.
heal. So it's unclear if that's his power somehow like mitigating that, or if it's just so powerful and overwhelming that it just doesn't matter.
Hmm.
You know?
Yeah. It'd be interesting if it nullifies powers. I mean, that's not
Yeah.
like, that would be interesting. So seems to get away anyways. We find out he's alive. That's the shock. That's not a shock because Soldier Boy was in all the
Right.
previews and stuff or
We
whatever,
I
but
mean, we all knew it was gonna come that he was alive. There was just no
mhm,
way that, like, they shot him and took his body off camera was gonna be, "He's actually dead."
yep. Mhm,
So I mean, so he technically could be the weapon to kill Homelander
yep.
if we
Mhm,
can figure out how, like, with it he is brain space wise,
yep.
and maybe what he wants and where he's going and what he plans to do.
Yep. Yep. So there's a lot more we didn't cover. We talk about more kind of power struggles and again, torturing everybody a little bit, putting Homelander making fun of A Train and telling killing the new teammate
Oh,
when the moron new guy,
ouch.
I saw that you put in the comments too, it's like, this is not, I didn't think it was gonna end so
Like
quickly this
that,
way.
yeah.
Yeah. But you knew it wasn't gonna go well. Telling A Train. I'm like, right away, it's he's just gonna go and try to tell Homelander to get in his good graces.
Exactly. He's such a little bitch.
Ugh, man.
Yeah. And I was really
So,
bummed because, like, obviously Starlight is working to, keep close to Homelander and, like, keep things stable until the boys can figure out, like, a weapon to kill him. Queen Maeve, like, has been a low key badass this season. I also like
yeah,
her amount of involvement right now,
yeah,
bringing Butcher some intel, training on the down low, like putting out rumors that, she's just like a drunk and,
yeah,
sexing it up when really she's like secretly training and dry. And um, yeah, I love that she's playing the long game. So
yep.
everybody's working so hard and then A Train just comes in like a little D bag, ruins it. Ruins some of it
Ah,
anyway.
mhm. Well, Starlight should have made it more clear for
Yeah.
bringing him in. Like, you know, clearly in over
At
his
least
head.
he didn't
Doesn't
at least
know.
he clearly didn't know about Maeve and Starlight.
Yes, that's very lucky.
Yeah.
So, yep. Well,
And I
Starlight,
mean,
yes,
well, yes,
but not
Starlight
me.
sort of though. You know what I mean?
Mhm.
I don't think Homelander thinks it's any different from like her normal I don't like you and I don't want you to be in power. Do you know what I mean?
Sure.
It's nothing like special and different like I
Mhm.
know of a weapon that could kill you.
Oh, yeah, right. Yep. Just the plotting against him kind of
Right,
thing.
right.
Yep.
Which I think he thinks is like par for the course
I would think
for
so.
her.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
So,
Hmm. All right. Well, overall, what'd you think of these episodes? You enjoying the show so far? Or?
I am there are some really good storylines happening here for certain characters and then these 2 episodes definitely took a stumble, I think, in reintroducing old material. Like we said, the Deep just doesn't need to be anywhere near here. Old material and Butcher being an asshole. Um, and I think there were some inconsistencies with motive that I was disappointed in. But overall, moving the storyline forward nicely, I'm interested to see where the boys are headed because right now they're pretty much rock bottom.
Yep.
Um, so what's going to happen? What's going to happen with Soldier Boy? What's going to happen to Starlight and Maeve's, grand ideas for Homelander? I don't know. What's going to happen to Stan Edgar?
Yeah.
Homelander
Right.
delivered him a sneaky
Yeah.
blow.
Yeah, that's a big reveal that he snuck around, found out who the head popper is, and
Yeah,
made a few little threats. That's going to be interesting dynamic there. Can
yeah,
she pop his head
right,
or not? Is she going to
right,
try it? Because if she tries it and it doesn't work, she's dead, and so is her
right,
daughter.
right. So there's
So,
the like looming possibility, which for her is like her leverage, and for Homelander is like it's weirdly exciting.
yep,
'Cause he
yep,
he weirdly gets off on, like, is there somebody out there that can beat me? Like, I don't
yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah, for
So,
sure.
shoot, what was I gonna say about that, though? Oh,
Daughter,
so it's yeah, so 2 quick things on that storyline. 1, speaking of terrible moms, like, forcing her daughter to take V because she thinks it'll protect her. Yikes. That's not a gamble I would be forcing on my kid.
sure.
And that's not some pain that I would be forcing on my kid.
Hmm.
Um, and then also, Homelander felt very Magneto to me when he was like, "Good job choosing your own kind."
Right. Yep. Yeah, you can
It was just
definitely.
so reminiscent of that. I was just like, "Oof, I have chills."
Yep. Yep. Mhm. Magneto's a nicer guy than Homelander.
Clearly, clearly, but like
But yeah.
that line of
Yes.
thinking was very much
Yeah.
the same.
Yeah.